Now, we've already seen absolute value functions before. And the interesting thing is you can actually define an absolute value function as a piecewise function. So let's take a look here. If you've got an absolute value, it's always some sort of V shape, right? And the idea is, it really is just this V shape, but at some point the graph goes negative. So you can see you got this red arrow here. You're just going to flip that up and make it positive. So it's kind of like it's getting reflected across this this horizontal line of symmetry here. So it's getting flipped up to the top, and that's the idea behind an absolute value function. Now, the way we do it with piecewise is we just figure out where that bend happens. We make a positive version to the right, and we take the opposite version of it to the left. And the idea is it's always going to give us the values that way. Because remember, if it's to the left of that center point, the absolute value is supposed to make it positive again. So we're going to have to use a negative sign to make sure we change the function around. All right. So how does this work when we're looking at an absolute value function? So what I want to look for here is where the graph changes direction. Well, I don't even really want to write it as a piecewise function. We're just going to graph it. So let's take some x values and then see what happens here. We're just going to plug them in. How about we go with fix my graph there. Let's do the standard. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. Absolute value of 2 times negative 2 minus 4. Well, that's negative 4 absolute value minus 4, or 0. All right. And 2 times negative 1 minus 4 is negative 2 absolute value minus 4. And if you didn't see it before, I used the absolute value minus 4. We get negative 2 there. And I'm just going to keep doing that. And I get negative 4. And an interesting thing that happens on the way up here is I get negative 2 and 0 again. So all across these rows I've got my coordinates. So these are my y coordinates out on the right here. So I'm just plugging it in and finding a bunch of values. Let's draw it in red. For negative 2, we have 0. For negative 1, we have negative 2. And for 0, we have negative 4. And there's the rest of my v. You can, let's say you want to have, let's say we plug in 5 here just so we have a point a little bit further out. 2 times 5, absolute value minus 4 is absolute value of 10 minus 4, or 6. So 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There we go. And all I got to do is draw some straight lines here. Oh, that's weird. My lines didn't come out super straight. Let me fix that. There we go. That's a little bit better. There we go. There's the absolute value. All you got to do is just plug it in and evaluate it, which you've all shown me you know how to do already.